So here's some things we talked about your swing today and things to work on in your swing. The first one is a grip. We talked about how your hand is to the side or underneath a little bit too much. And we'll go to Jon Rahm in here, and that little grip teaching aid. And you can see how a tour player is going to get more leverage right here in that part of your hand, but your hand is underneath in flexion. Because your hand goes, you have this scooping, and your hand has to be underneath the club a little bit more. So a little more extension here. And you have more flexion, meaning we see a lot of fingers, and your hand is underneath. To apply leverage of the ball, that hand has to be more on top, like what the training grip would show you. So that would be the first thing in the grip. Left hand will keep on the same. That's that right hand grip that's a little bit better. There are 6 possible things that a golfer could move to create energy, power, direction: shoulders, hips, and wrists. These are the 3 bad things for you. As a force, they're part of the slingshot of the motion of release energy, but not really the force that compress the ball. And then we have the ground forces, how we push off the ground as a force with our legs. That moves the core. So those are the 3 things we can do to apply leverage. So the golf swing has a force, which is applying leverage, and it's also the force will help create club head speed. So when I watch someone how they're creating force and speed in your swing, the one thing we talked about a little bit here is to tighten up your core muscles. You'll see your hips kind of twist. And we worked on that feeling of being more resistant. So we watched Jon Rahm go back. You'll see that tour players are right here more resisting than trying to turn, especially in this lower half here. You'll see you'll turn, and that's why you'll feel a stretch up here in your swing instead of down here. We're trying to build a spring that helps catapult all this energy back to the ball. And as he's stretching here, you can see his body's already wanting to go forward. Now, he's not trying to do that, but the more we build a stress there. Now, the problem in your swing is when you try to get energy in your swing because of the way you wound up, your shoulders are going to try to get power up here at the top. And a lot of times the golfers are trying to get this shoulders as much power in their swing. So you'll see this move where you move your shoulders a lot. And as you move, turn, and pull, you're dragging the club behind you, and then your hand has to go to flexion, which now it's bent over, and now this one's an extension, which was we want the opposite, because you really can't play leverage once you do this. So you have a lot of speed through here, but not a lot of leverage. You'll hit the top of the ball as you did this one. This one, you can see the bottom of the club hit the top of the ball, and you'll try to drop your body down, but you'll still do the flip. So eventually, trying to drop it down, you'll start hitting way back here somewhere. So we're going to work on how to get that energy, a little more resistance, and how to get more leverage to the ball, and then create that slingshot effect where the arms extend out more. So if we watch Jon Rahm swing again, if we use his front shoulder, he's driving his core muscles here. He's going this way. You'll see him apply leverage. So the difference is someone applying leverage to the ball, and your shoulders are trying to create speed and trying for the hands to catch up. And that's kind of your differences we worked in your swing. Everything we did is to work to get to that leverage feeling and contact. So let's go over some drills that we did and look some shots you did at the end. And the first drill here is just me holding the club in this drill where we're having the impact bag. And I'm trying to play leverage in my swing using my lower half. My core, my legs are pushing. That's ground reaction forces. As we push, the ground pushes back. You'll see right with my arms crossing my midsection, that's my core muscles. I'm trying to drive from there. And my hips applying energy. You can see as I compress the ball there. I'm going to back this up and I'm going to go to Roy. And even though they have different looking swings, as they go to impact, basically they apply leverage the same way. So we're trying to put that leverage feeling of compression. And again, your swing wants to spin from the shoulders. Now, after the impact, is when we were delivering this force as a leverage, and we're trying to get the energy into the golf club. When you twisted your shoulder, the energies can't really get to the club here. It's being pulled that way. Your right hand goes to flexion. Once it flips, then this arm pulls in, and you got this look. So that part takes time. So when they go down to play leverage, the arms will extend out, and it releases energy like you're throwing a ball. And this is going to max out your club head speed. So if you can get the hit, and then release the energy, that hit energy kinetically into the shaft, into the club head, and that maxes your speed. And all these drills would help you to get to that feel. So again, we're rearranging your energy. I'm using your parts. Really, the only part I'm changing is your right-handed grip. The rest of it, it's just about how to kinetic energy, how to be more efficient in your swing. Here's a chipping drill, what we did, and it's kind of in the same line. You can see I'm doing the drill where I'm holding my arm, hitting with my core muscles. And then the same, I just grab a golf club, same motion, or hitting the bag. I'm still applying force to the bag, to the club, creating a nice simple contact when I chip. So that drill right there will help your chipping a lot and also help your swing. So let's take a look at some swings we switched. So this was towards the end, what we worked on. You're going to see here in the backswing, you'll see your hips aren't moving as much. Go back to your original, you'll see how the hips are twisting more. And here you're resisting more. So you felt more resistance here, more connected to the ground here. So you're going to feel some pressure somewhere in maybe 3 of these points. I call the feet as the ground, somewhere in the top of the thighs and your core muscles. They're going to feel like they're the spring. You're building a spring energy from there. Now, because that's a spring right about here, even though it feels like you're doing a short swing, you're actually almost the same length, but more resistance from the ball, more stability. See, from here, your shoulders and hips are spinning. And over here, you'll see how much your hip is bumping. So that all that lateral motion kicked in naturally because we're not moving from the shoulders, we're moving down. And you see how the shoulder didn't open up. Instead of the spinning, we're applying leverage. And then let the club fly. And that part, well, you'll get better. Just relax and let the club really let it go through, which is already better than it was, speeding up. And after that, the momentum will bring you up into your swing. Here's a couple chip shots. We just did the smaller version. This is pretty good. You're applying leverage. Your arms are really tight, so that's the part you'll start relaxing those arms. Right here, you can already see that's a small version of the core, hips, arms, and extension. That's the spinning. It's you hitting the bag. So here's just another swing of you working to apply pressure. That's the spinning. See how the shoulders pulls away. When you go into spinning mode, look how your front shoulder stays there natural as you try leveraging, and then it releases up. So getting back to a couple of things here at the start. So tour players, when they go through, because of how they move, your hands become quiet. So as tour players go through, they hit the shot. See how the back right hand stays in extension, meaning bent in. And Collin Morikawa, he has a super flexion in his hand. He's known for that. Not too many players have that much, but I'm just showing his exaggeration. He's super extended. On the left, you can see he's not as extended, but he's got flexion. The key thing is both of them have shaft angle or leverage and impact by shaft leaning. And this allows this club, if you see over here, to hit compression. We're going to hit the ball first and compress, and the divot. That's the bottom of the swing is right with the green arrow, so we're in a natural downward blow, and your club was going to bottom out right there and head up. So you couldn't get to the leverage. Now, all this here is you don't try to hold that. It's important. We're just going to move better to create that feeling. It's important to create the feeling, not really to go to hold your hands through here, because they're releasing that club with energy. So this is hitting those chip shots and getting that feel. That's why when you're doing this, we get to that feeling of how we play leverage. And I think this is the best drill for you to get that feeling and then that extension where the arms learn to extend out.